Memphis and WPGF-LP Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. It's Johnny Radio's Happy Hour.
If you like pina coladas.
This hour is brought to you by MemphisFarmers.com. Insurance coverage backed by a local agent and a brand trusted nationwide. We are farmers. MemphisFarmers.com.
Check it out right here.
Ladies and gentlemen, and now,
the 3-time sexiest man in Millington, Johnny Harden.
Light me up like a Christmas tree? I don't know if that's still appropriate. I think it's light me up like a big fat spliff. 2019 is ending. 2020 is in full effect. I will make a prediction. At the end of this decade, CBD is the thing. At the end of the next decade, we'll be real. THC will be the real thing. It is the last day of 2019. Can you believe it? We got the Liberty Bowl going on today, right at the end of this show. Yes, that's right. Memphis is getting ready to host one of our big events, the Liberty Bowl. Thank you, FedEx. You know, the Liberty Bowl is one of those things that you just have to say, in all honesty, it is, it's like an institution, like AutoZone, FedEx, the Liberty Bowl. Let's see, what else? The institution, Memphis, St. Jude, all these things that make everything so wonderful about this city. But then I do have to say to you, I look up north to Nashville at Music City, and I just kind of laugh. Don't worry about that. We'll talk a little bit more because we're going to get into a little bit of football. But I want to tell everybody, welcome into the last edition of Johnny Radio's Happy Hour on a beautiful, feels like a Friday. It is a Wednesday, right?
It's actually a Tuesday.
Bull!
If I'm not mistaken.
Is it Tuesday?
It sure is. It
I
sure
bet
is
most
Tuesday.
Is it Tuesday?
Yeah.
So we don't even know what day it is. By the way, people, how long is it? How long? Is it in December to January? Do you know what day it is? How many people lose, like, they go through, like, 3 weeks of their life, and they're like,
The holiday season does it to you, man. 'Cause it's
it
like,
does.
yeah. 'Cause
You get into
it's
a
going to fall on a different day every year.
Like,
know
you
what I mean?
just show up to church, and you're like, dude, it's Sunday. No, I went to church on a different day, and it completely confused me. Because you know what I'm talking about. You go to a church on, the 25th was on a Wednesday, right?
Don't ask me that.
I think Christmas was
I would assume so.
I'm pretty sure.
Listen, it was 6 days ago. So yes,
Christmas
it fell
was
on
a
Wednesday.
So
yes.
I just know that a lot of people are like me, and they're bad. Let's just be honest, and I'm gonna be honest with all of y'all. I am a Christian. I go to church on Easter and Christmas and all those times that my kids go and do something important. And my mom teaches at the church, and I love her, and I want to be at the church every week. But remember, I work. I put church on for you people every Sunday. Like, so I feel like I'm doing part of the magic. I'm doing the good Lord's work, baby. But can I tell you something? Does anything set you back more than going to church like on a Tuesday? And then you know, like, no matter what happens, the next day feels like a Monday. At least for me. Am I crazy?
Look, I can't relate.
You can't?
I cannot.
Oh, why? I'm curious.
I'm not necessarily a churchgoer.
Oh, so you don't go.
I'm not.
Look, listen, I'm going to tell you. I don't go much either, but I do.
But during the holiday season, I will say this. During the holiday season, I lose track of days. I mean, it's because Christmas is going to fall on a different day every single year. So, like, the day of the week is just lost for me.
Oh, it's just gone.
Like, you asked me today, and I said Tuesday? It was like a question mark at the end of it. Like,
it's like,
it was anybody's guess.
Let me tell you guys, I don't know what's really going on, but I do know that we're supposed to be doing a radio show today. No, but it is kind of funny in the aspect that we can keep up with the Liberty Bowl. We can keep up with, and by the way, the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, which is about to kick off, everybody down there partying like rock stars. I had a couple people who broke my heart today and invited me to come down there and party with them. Had extra tickets. They're down there. They're like, hey, we are already.
You know what? We can show up late, John. Let's do it.
We will show up when the game starts.
Oh, it's fine. We'll be there for the. We'll be there for the second
tailgate.
half.
They were tailgating early this morning. I got my first tailgate. The what I call the APB or the the bat signal came out was at 9:30 this morning, and it was mimosas and Bloody Marys being served now, and I was like, oh gosh, I have to work. Why are you doing this to me, people? But like I said, though, Memphis does it right. And today we have the Liberty Bowl. And I was listening to Greg and Gabe, and y'all were making me laugh. Can I just make fun of Greg for a minute? Today's the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. 6 caller for the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, but you really have to want to go. What? That just makes me laugh because I love Greg Gaston, and I just remember Greg hasn't been on that side of the glass, which we don't say very often over here.
He's like 45th caller. All right, the 45th caller.
40 years. Because Greg, by the way, is not like, I'm not saying he's an old man. He's a mature man, and he's been around the block. He does this side of the glass. He does TV. You know what I mean? And so I do have to, I was feeling for you and laughing at that moment. And I was also sitting with a bunch of people who were like, dude, I'd go to the Liberty Bowl, but 6 caller? Like, what?
I was pushing plenty of buttons, I'll tell you that.
Oh, I know. Everybody and their grandmother was getting ready for it. And by the way, though, I do need to talk about this, and it's very important because today is the last day of 2019. So what are we going to do today? Well, we're going to tell you a little bit what happened this morning in the Belk Bowl. I'm going to tell you we had a little fight action. Did you know that? You were working, so I don't think you got to see it.
I saw it.
How'd you see it?
Lynn Bowden, knocked somebody in the face.
Yes.
Because there's TVs, at the breaks. I indulge.
When do you have the opportunity to do all this stuff? Anyway, we're going to talk about that. Virginia Tech, Kentucky, the Belk Bowl. It started off with a little bit of feistiness. We got Florida State, Arizona State, Navy, and Kansas State are getting ready to play in the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, baby. It's going down for real. And I do have to say one thing. Does the American need a win?
Hell yeah, man.
Can they get one?
Why is bowl season for the American Conference just like always the worst?
Can they get one? Can they get one today?
They
and
can.
Not being desperate?
I mean,
they I like Perry and everything, but I look at Kansas State's
that's
defense.
what I'm saying. I just don't think they can beat Kansas State, man. Kansas State's got that's a good Big 12 team. That's one of the better Big 12 teams.
And by the way, saying it's a good Big 12 defense is almost like an oxymoron because we watched LSU beat the brakes off of Oklahoma. We know we don't they don't play defense in the Big 12, so it is a very difficult conversation when you say things like that and you think about the American. But I have to say this. You watch Memphis. Offensively, they were better than Penn State. Offensively, they were better than Penn State. Skill position-wise, they were better than Penn State. I think this year, coached up, I think they were coached up better than Penn State. The problem that happened with the Memphis Tigers this week is what happens in a lot of things and happens throughout the bowl season, and it happens in college athletics. Is basically sometimes the best coaching and the hardest worker doesn't always necessarily win because of simple talent. And Penn State did not in any way, I feel like, on offense, other than the offensive line, have the players that Memphis did. But if you look at them defensively, and if you look at their backups and the people that kept coming in and rotating and giving the other guys breaks, it wasn't even close. And basically what you saw was a Power 5 team who wasn't even as good, who did not have, if it was 11 on 11, both sides for the entire game, and you couldn't take anybody out, Memphis wins that football game. But it's not 11 on 11. It's a football team versus a football team. And you watched Penn State's athletes wear down the best and the strongest and the most powerful of the Tigers. And you saw that defensive front who fought so damn hard in the first half, fought so hard in the second half. They got worn down. And number 11, dude, I'm going to say
Micah Parsons from Penn State.
I can't. Dude, that young man right there is such a he is so good, and how
sophomore, by the way.
They fought, like the offensive line without Scotty Dill fought so hard. They did so well. Brady got the ball out. The backs played so great. Everybody did so amazing. But can I just tell you again, this is why money and more always, like, and me and Gabe jokingly earlier today were going back and forth a little bit about moving to 8. And I understand, I think where Gabe's coming from, because it is BS. And I'm actually with Gabe. Like, I would actually like it to see it to go to 8. And I'm going to tell you something.
I'm with you too.
You're gonna
4
hear
is
me.
fine with me too.
It's a weird argument. And here's what I'm trying to say, because it's a BS argument. And I'm going to talk about it here at the bottom of this hour. And I'm really going to explain it to you in a little bit more of a depth than possibly most people probably will, because I want to talk about a couple other things that are going on, and I don't want to get, and I want to literally get y'all's at 67129. I want you to tell me what you think about college football. One, I want you to tell me what you think about the end of this year, looking at the bowl games, looking at the way the playoffs are. Tomorrow is New Year's Day. I listened to Gabe and I listened to Greg, and I'm wondering, did Gabe experience what New Year's Day used to be like? Did you get to experience that with your father?
Yes.
Will it feel the same way tomorrow? Because I don't think so.
No, and it hasn't since the playoffs started.
It has not. And I'm going to tell you something. I'm not, and this is, I love the playoff to a degree. One, I love it as a broadcaster.
I love it because it doesn't leave everything to doubt as to who the national champion
Good
is.
point.
That's
another
it's
thing.
Like, okay, we won head-to-head. We're the number 1 team. We won this.
And we're going to talk about this more in depth, and we're going to argue a little bit more at the bottom of the hour. But like how you talked about like the greatest player, that's the other thing that where me and Gabe disagree. Like, I think the conference playoffs, like, it is so hard to get a good conference playoff game, and I think that's almost a playoff game for all of them anyway, that the difference between the top 3 teams in the country, and I looked this up over the last 20 years, just the top 3 teams, and I went for the top 3 teams, and this was when the BCS era was there, before the college football playoffs, and I literally went through it, and I did it everywhere. I went through all the teams who had won it. Is there a team that had been left out, blah, blah, blah. Dude, there has not been an error. And if you look at the margin of victory, if you look at the way these teams get smoked, what I'm trying to say is in college football, the difference between the haves and have-nots and the great and the good is at a level that is a lot. The gap is a lot. The river is bigger in any other sport with football than I think baseball, basketball, hockey, anything.
I think that's where we'll disagree. I think that's where we'll disagree, because when I look at the college football playoff since its inception, it's 6 years now. We looked at all the semifinals.
Did you think Oklahoma had a single chance?
No, never did I think that. Just like I thought Notre Dame had no chance last year against Clemson.
That's what I'm saying. So
but I will say this: there has been 2 out of these 6 years where the 4 seed has beaten the 1 seed.
Yeah,
Alabama
Ohio
beat Clemson
State,
and Ohio State beat Alabama.
And those teams, by the way, we thought those. And by the way, you brought up what I brought. If you brought up 2 teams,
not every
that were number
year.
4, no, you brought up the exact 2 I was going to argue with and say, did you know that year that those 2 teams that were number 4 were ranked number 1 combined for a whole 19 weeks? Number 1 in the country. Oh, they lost a game, fell to number 4. Look, I'm not saying that 4 has to go away. 4 is fine. But if you think that 8 realistically is somehow going to make it better, I disagree unequivocally. If you look at the market,
I think there's drawbacks as well, but I do think absolutely it would make it a lot more interesting. I think an 8 seed getting in there, competing with a 1 seed, say it was Baylor this year has to go compete with LSU.
What if Trevor Lawrence got hurt?
I think a lot of he could get hurt in the 2 games he's playing right now.
I hear what no. Again, this is why football and basketball are different. The playoffs start in college football in week 1. Man, I don't even have my papers. I didn't even want to get into this in the first segment.
we can wait. We can wait.
I was going to say
we can wait. Come on. What else you got?
Let's totally different.
We'll wait. We'll wait.
No, I got all kinds.
You need
of
ammo?
stuff.
Come on.
No, I got tons of ammo. Man, I'm just saying though. But the playoffs, though, and like I said, is the reason college football is great because they start in week 1. Like you have Oregon and Auburn. It started right there.
Here's the other part of it that's interesting to me. You talk about a Big 12 team getting in there, right? I think the second or third best team in the SEC could compete better than the top Big 12 team.
I agree.
Even though that Big 12 so that's what I'm saying. I think it would be more.
So why would
I think
you
there
want to
would
go
be some
to more?
like the 2 versus 7, the 3 versus 6. That would be a very competitive matchup.
Just so you know, the average margin of victory in the semifinals is 28 points. That's 4 touchdowns. And you know, and we talked about that today.
So would that grow?
Now,
would that grow if you go to 8 teams?
If you go to 8, I think it's going to go to almost
4 versus. Think about that. That's
40.
a 4 versus 5 seed. That's a 3 versus 6. That's a 2 versus 7.
1 versus 4's average margin of victory, even with the 2 wins, is 38 points. That's not a good.
And then you have national championship.
That's not good football.
The
points.
national championship last year was not good football. They got beat by 28 by Clemson.
It sure was. That's what I'm saying. So why is it that
we
want?
But I feel like matchups are going to happen.
Okay, Gabe, you're a football player. Here's what I'm trying to say to you is, listen to this point, and I promise you, I think you're going to get to me, and you'll understand this. Fans, college football, belief, and magic are 90% of the product. The miracle of what if or what could be. But if we turn this into the NBA, where it's the best team every year and we know who's going to win, and let's just be real. If we want to pretend and if we want to be blind, every single year, go and look at the college football championships and the NCAA football championships. You'll see 18 in the last, what was it? I think yesterday I did 25 years, 18 SEC teams, couple Pac-12, 1 Big 12, 4, whatever. I can't remember. What I'm saying is it was still the big guys always at the top. But what I'm saying is the magic of college football is every single season, all the fans across the country, 128 teams, they start off with week 1 and a new belief that they can get maybe a conference championship or this type of championship or make a big bowl. So what I'm trying to say is if you take that away and you just make college football all about just the best and the top 4 or 8 teams, what about the other 128 kids and making
bowls.
a bowl?
They have bowls.
But I listened to you earlier. Who cares about the bowl? Who cares about the bowl? That's what I'm saying is the more you expand the playoffs, the less people care about the bowls. The less people care about all the rest of the games. College football was about the pageantry. It was about 128 teams going out there and every year having an opportunity to fight for a championship. And now all you want to do is make it is basically like the NCAA basketball, a field of 64. Just think about that.
No. I want to. I would say 8.
You were
I
college
think
football.
8. I think
you were a
8.
college football player.
Yes.
You just watched the Tigers play in the Cotton Bowl.
Yes.
You go to 8. Cotton Bowl going to mean anything?
Realistically, what does the Citrus
Is
Bowl?
the Cotton Bowl
this is
gonna
what
mean
I'm trying to
anything,
get
yes
at.
or
Is
no?
I don't think these bowls will mean any less because you put in 4 more games.
You really don't.
No, it will mean the same.
Already been diminished
yes,
since they've moved to 4.
Yes, yeah,
Okay,
but
hold
why
on.
would 8 make it
So
diminish
why-
less?
Wait, hold on.
why would 8 make it less?
Okay,
that's what I'm trying to understand.
If adding 2 makes it less, how could adding another 4 make it not less? You are literally almost making the bowl system in college football for the rest of the country. Why does
4 more teams make it mean less? I don't understand that thought process.
We'll have to talk about this.
Yeah,
I'm going to give you a minute
this is
to
a very
think about it.
this is a very opinionated thing. I'd love to hear it on 67129. What you guys think about the 4 versus 8 team playoff?
Whatever.
Because the thing is, I think 4 teams is fine. I'm glad there's a playoff. I really am. I really think that it has helped as far as picking a national champion. But as far as
I don't know if it's helped picking a national championship because I don't know if we've ever really had a problem. In fact, they've already come out and said the 2 4s that won. They probably would have been put in the BCS National Championship. Now that was a fact that people said they voted, and the reason they put them at 4 was because they went by fairness, but they didn't go by best.
The problem you used to have is you'd have, say, the Fiesta Bowl, 1 versus 4. What if 1 loses? Does 4 become the national champion at that point? It used to not be 1 versus 4, 2 versus 3, is what I'm trying to get at. So I think the playoff has at least helped the committee decide, no doubt, who the national champion is. And the teams take it into their own hands. But, yeah, I think this is an interesting topic. I think a lot of people have their thoughts on it. I think being a little more inclusive as far as 8 teams won't do much to diminish the bowls. I think it'll be the exact same. But there will be slight drawbacks as far as the margin of victory. I can agree with that. That is a point well taken as far as a 1 versus an 8, especially this year. Who is the 8th team in the country right now? Like a Baylor versus LSU would be a bloodbath, just like Oklahoma versus LSU.
What I'm saying, didn't we watch Oklahoma and Baylor play? I mean, what were the what? Say, are you telling me that the ACC, the Big 12, the Big 10, the SEC championships, they weren't basically college play-in games?
They, to a certain extent, were, yes. The ACC...
No, they are every single year.
But like the Pac-12
every year.
So it's like...
Look, well, no, it's because if you're that weak and you go out of conference and you get smoked,
but if you put a Georgia...
eliminated.
If you put a Georgia in there... Say if Georgia's 5th, right?
Five?
Georgia's 5th.
Time out. I'm going to tell you something. A guy told me this. He said, do you know why we have 4... This is what the smartest person that I ever talked to said. He said, you know, we have 5 Power 5 conferences, correct? He said, do you know why we will never put in a non-Power 5 conference? One, they will never measure up. Memphis went out there and gave their heart out, and that's the best non-Power 5 team I've seen in a long time. Penn State is not even a top 15 team in reality.
I think UCF 2 years ago could have easily measured up.
Okay, that's what you think. They would have gotten smoked by Clemson, period.
Well,
or Alabama. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is you want to talk about the best, and this is what I'm trying to get at is college football and college sports are not just about the best. It's about a complete experience and a life and growth, and it's about bowl games, and it's about everybody having an opportunity to become the best athlete and best college athlete they can become. Now, do we celebrate a Heisman? Do we celebrate a national championship? Absolutely. But you know what? Today we're going to crown a Liberty Bowl championship, a Belk Bowl championship.
And those will still be there.
And we will.
If they go to 8.
So what are they doing in college basketball? What bowl games are they playing in college
I'm not
basketball?
talking about college basketball. I'm talking about college football.
So do you not realize that you're literally changing all of college football and you just don't even get it? We've already lost New Year's Day. New Year's Day used to be magic. New Year's Day is now nothing.
But I'll go back to the question.
Okay, can I ask you something?
What's the difference if you add 4
simple.
teams? Like what
is
would
the
it
difference?
take
Who
away?
wants to watch? By the way, do you want to watch LSU play Baylor?
Yeah.
Why?
If it's a blowout, I'll turn it.
No,
okay?
but why?
Because it's a 1 versus an 8. It's
why
a chance,
would you like to give an opportunity for Joe Burrow to get rolled up on and have an ankle, and then he misses the national championship?
He could do that in the semifinal he just played against Oklahoma.
It's called football. That's why I'm saying the regular season is important because the playoffs start in game 1 in college football, and I'm so sad you don't get that. That is what makes college football so great is that college football, you can get injured in game 1. You can get injured in the last game. But why is it that you want to? You got to play your season out. You got to do all these things. You give magic to everybody. You're trying to take magic dust away from every single program, and you literally are trying to take the Power 5 and even the American. And with what you're saying of going to 8, that will farther push you. And if you think I'm joking, all you have to do is mathematics. You can look at it. Back in the day, Boise, remember they beat Oklahoma? College, the number of 5 stars, the amount of money that they used to have. You can go look at it. They had more back in the old bowl system. Now that they've gone to the college football Final Four and the Power 5, the small conferences like that you're in the American, they make less. Y'all get less. So if college athletes is supposed to be about fairness and college students and being academic this and that and all this stuff, and it's supposed to be about fans having an opportunity to go to 5 games and hope and pray that they can win a conference championship and maybe make it to this, You're trying to take it all the way just so we can do one thing. Crown a champion. They have crowned a championship in college football every year since I've been playing college football.
I know.
But you know what? They've also, other games mattered. With what you're saying is you want to take away the regular season. You only want to focus on the 8. The final 8.
How am I taking away the regular season?
Because who's going to care? This is the society we live in.
I'm not understanding. I'm not understanding.
67129. Hit him up 901-360-8255 if he can't get
No. It's not that I don't get it. It's just that I don't know what you're presenting to me because it's like 4 teams is not going to change what the playoff is already. If you get rid of the playoff, if that's what you're saying, more power to you. That's your opinion.
If you add right now an extra week of playoffs, how many games are you taking away from the bowls?
2.
And again, so you say just 2.
Well,
so,
no. Literally, that's 2. That's 4 teams.
You have already taken away where players aren't playing in bowl games because they're not in the college football Final Four. Oh, if I'm a great player, I'm not going to play.
I never said that wouldn't happen. Though. That's going to continue to happen.
What I'm just saying is, if you want to continue it snowballing in the wrong direction, go right ahead. I'll be right back in 2 shakes of a tail. Sports 56, 96.1, 87.7 FM.
Start your day with the Peter Edmiston Experience with CJ Hertz right here on Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Hey, check out this report of our Office 365 email and the threats sitting in users' inboxes.
Wow, how did you get this?
There's a free tool called Barracuda Email Threat Scanner that can quickly and safely scan our Office 365 email for hidden threats like spear phishing and domain fraud.
Really?
Yeah, Barracuda Email Threat Scanner identifies hidden threats and employees most at risk for a cyber attack, all summarized in a complete report.
This is great.
Get your free email threat scan now at barracuda.com. Barracuda, your journey secured.
I want to invite you to come by the Spirit Shop. You know, that little log cabin on Poplar? Your liquor and wine oasis. The Spirit Shop has been providing sports fans their beverage needs since way back in 1969. So come in now and get ready for the big game. Whether your favorite team wins or loses, the Spirit Shop will help you celebrate or ease that pain away. The Spirit Shop is open every day, and they're located perfectly at 4848 Poplar. That's the corner of Poplar and St. Nick.
For over 25 years, Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7 has been bringing you great local sports talk. With 13 hours of local talk daily, we continue to be Memphis's local sports leader. The day starts with Keith Parker and Elliot Wender on the Press Box from 6 to 7, followed by the Peter Edmiston Experience with CJ Hurt from 7 to 10. Sports 56 middays with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy takes you through lunch from 10 until 1. And then, John Harden brings you Johnny Radio's Happy Hour from 1 to 3. Dave Woloshin and Brett Norsworthy drive you home every afternoon with Sports Time with Wolo and Stats from 3 till 6. And John Rennie wraps up the day with Southern Sports Report from 6 to 7 before we turn things over to Fox Sports Radio to get you through the evening. We also bring you Ole Miss sports, NFL football, and the NCAA basketball tournament. Don't miss anything. Keep your radio locked in right here on Real Sports Talk. Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7. Now back to Johnny Radio's Happy Hour.
Get over here!
This hour is brought to you by MemphisFarmers.com. Insurance coverage backed by a local agent and a brand trusted nationwide. We are farmers. MemphisFarmers.com.
Tony's a liar. Don't worry about it, though. We'll find out the truth eventually. Kirby's on the phone. He wants to talk about college football playoffs. Hit us up at 901-360-8255. It is the last day of 2019. Can you believe it? I can't wait for it to end, to be honest with you. Probably the worst year of my damn life. I ain't going to lie to you. But you know what? Getting cancer ain't going to make you a happy person. But you know what? I kicked his butt, so life is that way. But Kirby, he wants to talk about the college football playoffs. What's up, Kirb?
Hey, Johnny. Appreciate you taking my call. I listen to the show a lot, but I normally stream it after the fact on the podcast, so I don't listen live often, so I'm excited to get the chance to call. So I appreciate you taking the call. And Gabe, I watched you at the University of Memphis also, was a huge fan of yours. So
thank you, sir.
Thanks for the
He's pretty damn good,
Thank you.
The passion you played the game with was inspiring, so thank you. But and Johnny, much love for you, but I got to tell you why you're wrong about this.
Thank you.
So first off, you said that the Cotton Bowl would mean less if there's 8 teams in the playoff. If there was a playoff, the Cotton Bowl would be a playoff game because you have 4 quarterfinals and 2 semifinals. There's your 6 New Year's 6 games right there. All 6 New Year's 6 games are now going to be playoff games.
Okay,
obviously,
that's
it'll
what I'm
take
saying, though. Okay, so let's say you make just say you make the college football playoff game a playoff game. So now I got to watch Penn State play Ohio State or Clemson again when Penn State has already lost and doesn't deserve the right to be there.
Well, you got to understand what the format would be if they even had a playoff. All 5 conference champions are going to get automatic bids.
Yes, and then they would do one. So, I know exactly. I know the whole formula. It'd be 5.
Right.
So they'd be 5 play-in games with conference championships. The SEC champion would be there. The ACC champion, the Big 12, the Power. I know all that. Then they would have the automatic qualifier, and you would have 2 at-large bidges. And it would supposedly be great, is what we keep saying. But if this is supposedly great, how come we have the average margin of victory as 28 points in the semifinals? How come it is that the average margin of victory in the last decade of a conference championship is 18.8 points? That is more than 2 touchdowns and a field goal.
That's not a logical argument, though.
No, it is a logical argument. You're taking the best 2 out of each conference. How many conferences are in the country?
Most college football games are blowouts all season long.
And I hear you. That's what makes it. Do you understand, Kirby, though? That's what I'm trying to explain to you. You're killing your argument. That's what makes college football. You tune in each week. You don't know it's going to be a blowout. But you tune in each week to watch this team to see what they're going to become. And then you go to the next week, into the next week, and it's a playoff week by week by week. And that's why we care about the AP polls all week. That's why we care about when they come out with the supposed 13 magical men who say, we're going to rank these teams. Go ahead.
Johnny, why do you want subjective polls to decide a national championship?
I don't. But they've never ever been wrong.
But they've been wrong numerous times. It happened. Do you remember when Auburn went undefeated and didn't get into the and I know that was back when there was 2, but it could happen again. You need to have a concrete way that's not subjective to award a national champion.
Okay, then we need to 100% unequivocally stop and say, then we're going to start paying our workers. And we will pay for our damn product, and we will stop giving all the money to the damn coaches and the presidents and the 128
That's another.
No. That's the same damn argument. You can't want to put these kids in a situation where, okay, hey, he goes to play in the SEC. He wants to win an SEC championship, have an opportunity to play in a championship. But you know what? If you go to a college football playoff, what I'm just saying is, you go to a college football Final Four. You give Trevor Lawrence. He's great. He has to play a number 8 who doesn't really deserve to be there. What if you got a defensive end and it's football? We just watched Kentucky in the Belk Bowl and Virginia Tech almost have a huge problem in a fight before the game started. He snaps his leg there. What I'm saying is,
why do they not deserve to be there? If you have 128 teams and you're the 8th best in the country, why do you not deserve to have a chance to play in
because the proof is the margin of victory. And look, just all you have to do is look at the champions over the last 25 years, the last 50 years. I mean, just look at the list.
Then again, the national championship was a 28-point game last year, John.
Take that argument and apply it to any other
sport. That's exactly what I'm trying to say.
That's ever been
made. Hold on. Gabe just proved my point.
No, I didn't. I did not.
The national championship was a 28-point game. Why does Clemson have to play in an extra game to prove they're the best team in the country when they went undamn defeated in their conference, won their conference champion, and beat the 2 teams in front of them? But, dude, that's what I'm saying. 4 is enough, people. Like, how many times do we have to prove that Alabama or Clemson or Nebraska, when Tommy Frazier played, you can see it throughout the season? You don't need a playoff. This is college football, people.
Let me ask you, Johnny, one more question before I get off the phone. Here's my last question for you. Okay, so if you actually look at the schedule strength numbers.
You think Georgia belongs in the college football Final Four? Hell no.
You got to let me finish.
Go ahead, I apologize. Go ahead.
And then I'll get off here and listen because I love your show.
Thank you, sir.
Memphis played a harder schedule this year than Clemson did. So let me ask you this. Had Memphis beaten Temple, did Memphis not deserve a chance, even though their schedule strength was actually ranked higher than Clemson's this year?
Absolutely not. Did they not prove
That's
it to
ridiculous.
you? So they didn't prove it to you when they played Penn State?
It doesn't matter.
They didn't prove it when they – so Clemson didn't prove it to you when they played Ohio State. They didn't beat Alabama last year. They're under – Trevor Lawrence is 25-0. He hadn't proved it. I mean, what does he have to do to prove right now that he deserves to play in the championship? And do you really think that Brady White, who had 3 fumbles, deserves an opportunity to play Trevor Lawrence? You really believe that?
Yes,
they didn't go. Brady White didn't go undefeated.
I'm saying if they had, they would have been if one bad call, they go undefeated with a harder schedule than Clemson. They have no shot because the system is rigged.
Well, all right, man. The system is rigged then. By the way, can I just tell you something in all honesty? I love having an emotional conversation, Kirby.
I
know
too.
you work all the
you,
time. Please do me a favor. I know when you work a lot. When you have an opportunity to call in, that was dope. Call me back. Deal?
Hey, I absolutely will, and I want to hear. And I'm hanging up. I want to hear Gabe's opinion on what I just said.
Oh, he's going to definitely have your opinion. So you're going to love this. You're going to love that. Hey, Kirby, thank you. Happy New Year, brother. Love you.
Hey,
and by the way, people, if we could get our political system to be like me and Kirby and Gabe, where we could actually argue and fight in Washington, and then like love each other, and then like worry about the American people, how great could this country be? But anyway, sidebar. Gabe, my man Kirby, he wants to hear what you think. But before I let you talk, you're on the phone. So at least it gives me an opportunity to do this. I love football for one reason. And what I'm saying is I love college football. And I hate this because I really feel like my good friend Gabe, I feel like my good friend Kirby, and all you very intelligent people out there are missing what I'm trying to say is college football means so much to every single person that plays that sport. You work your tail off in the off season. You work to dream to be a Joe Burrow. You work to dream to be a young man like even a Joe Flacco who's taken, or a Carson Wentz. What I'm saying is everything now, people want to put everything in a championship. We want to wrap it up. We want to put a bow on it, and we want to make it perfect. You can't do that if you want to do it with the college experience and pretend that it's college. College is about men and women going to a university and learning to become adults. And it still applies with college football. And yes, we have bowl games and we have championships and we want everything to be perfect. But the stories like a Joe Burrow who starts out his career and gets beat out by a Dwayne Haskins who's now playing in the National Football League and comes to LSU. For Jake Fromm who beat out Justin Fields who went to Ohio State. For Brady White and what he's overcome from leaving Arizona State. There's that new thing with the transfer portal. We have tried to make college sports more fair for the athlete, and I want them to continue to do that. But I want us to never lose sight that it's about the entire season. It's about the growth from their freshman year to when they leave to become men. Not 2% become pro football players. But we love these people because we watch them and we see them grow from their freshman year to their senior year. We watch them work. We love college sports because we see kids become men. Because of the pageantry. Because you went there when you were a young person. That's why you give money back. College sports are not the NFL. They are not the NBA. Unbelievably, they aren't even the NCAA. Basketball. Put that B there. Because I feel like the NCAA with a B, that one and done rule is straight up saying that you are a minor league system for the 1%. And I think that's BS. And I don't want college football to become the minor league system for the 1%. I want it to become what college football has always been. About men who go and play the hardest game on planet Earth. And they fight their tail off. And they barely get some damn respect. But you know what? The Belk Bowl, the Music City Bowl, we didn't have names like that. The Liberty Bowl, we still have that name. It meant something to win those games. You had people voting on the national championship. It really didn't matter if we settled it on the field because it was about your fans. It was about your community. It was
so. Do you want a playoff
different.
at all?
I don't mind 4, but I don't want it to go to 8 for sure because I'm going to tell you something. I don't want college
Your
sports.
arguments sort of lend themselves to no
simple.
playoff.
My college football. No. If you want to go 4 is fine. My 4 is fine.
But I just.
But when I ask you,
I will never get the difference between 4 and 8
because you might not. Because maybe you didn't live it. And maybe you.
Well, no. I lived
Everything
before
has
the
become
playoff,
about
and then
money.
the New Year's
But
Day
you were there
is not
when
the same.
the BCS era.
Yeah,
you
I was
there
there.
before
I've
then.
seen
I didn't like
it.
the BCS. I think the BCS was BS. What I'm saying is listen. If we want college sports to be a minor league for pro sports, then make it a minor league for pro sports, and then start paying the players. But if you want it to be about educating young people and having actual fans show up every Sunday and rooting for Tulane or Tulsa or Memphis Tigers. I mean, who the hell are the Memphis Tigers? Really? Never been good. Went out and decided they were going to get good. Got a good coach. Got lucky with Paxton Lynch. Got some great recruits like Gabe Kuhn that ended up working on. Like, got great people that came in and made magic. But damn it, if they didn't make it to the final 8, that would look like it as a failure, and who would give a damn about Memphis? But this year, y'all made it to the Cotton Bowl, and you lost, yet we're celebrating Memphis.
I absolutely think that regardless, if you're ranked at the end of the year and you're a non-Power 5 and you're literally the best non-Power 5, that's something to celebrate. You'll still be in the Citrus Bowl. You'll still be celebrating that. But at the same time, you have guys that can't stand being outside of the top 4.
Second in the Final Four last year.
Penn State, Alabama, all these teams are disappointed they're not in the top 4. So I don't think it would make a difference if you go from 4 to 8. It just, I don't get the thought process of going 4 to 8 is just going to make this monumental change of the landscape of college football. I don't see it. I'll say that. I do not see it. I don't think it's possible to see it. I don't think we've been there. The playoff's still relatively new. We're 6 years into this thing. Again.
And the average margin of victory in the semifinals is 28
and also
point
a
games.
Third of the time the 4th seed beats the 1 seed.
I
don't know what to tell you.
An average of 11.5 points. Yes, you're right. Again, like I'm saying is, why do you need more games to prove who's best? You prove it through the regular season. You are asking kids who don't make any money, Gabe, to play more football. To prove that they're the best when they prove throughout the entire year. Trevor Lawrence is undefeated.
That's look.
Tell me
that's
what team,
one.
Is there one team that is? Is there one team that you're missing? Is there one team that deserves to be there or something? Like, is there something that
year
you're
to year there's been problems. Georgia last year was one that was a conversation. They lost by 3 in the SEC championship to Bama. They are a good team.
They didn't have their chance.
Now look, if they had a chance this year to be in a top 8 situation, there's no doubt in my mind that they're better than Oklahoma. There's no doubt in my mind they go and slap Oklahoma and hold down Oklahoma. That's what I'm trying to say. I think that there's more teams that could compete in this thing and get these matchups together. It's only one extra. It's one extra game. It's one extra game.
No, I know. But why? So you're literally now. You don't even understand. Like, this is why you can't even admit. Do you not admit that you are making less of the regular season for 100 and almost now 30 teams? Are you going to admit that? You're making less.
You're seeding them. You're seeding them based on where they lie. It's what do they do in the NFL?
You're making the championship games. That's what I'm saying, Colin. Holy cow! Are we not? Or am I speaking a different language? That's what I'm saying. Do you want to make this pro sports, or do you want it to be college? If you want to make it the minor league for the NFL,
it is already.
Never mind, I quit.
It is. Where's another minor league team? Where the NFL?
Gabe, don't worry about
NFL,
it.
the minor leagues.
You'll wake up one day and remember this: you never want to be on the wrong side of history.
The minor leagues and the NFL is college football.
When you get older, you'll understand what I'm talking
about.
The
NFL doesn't have to pay anything for their minor leagues.
Again,
that's why these expansion leagues have not worked out. It's
why would
already
anybody give a damn
about
about Memphis if we went to 8?
What are you talking about?
Like really, it's all about no. Really, all the Power 5, all the best recruits would go to the Power 5 schools because they want to be in the championship, the American Conference, the MAC.
You would
you would
right now. You
watch
can't
it dissipate.
That's non-Power 5 can't.
Again, if you want college sports to disappear, that's fine.
I feel like it would be, if anything, it would even up that. It would help other teams get in that wouldn't normally get in.
No, it wouldn't. But go ahead. Look at the list
it's
of
more teams. It's more teams. It's more.
Anyway, we'll be right back. And I got to say again, sorry, Chad, MemphisFarmers.com. I am getting off this subject. Will not say it again. Y'all know where I stand. I like college sports being college sports. If I want to watch pro sports, I watch pro sports, damn it. Like, why the hell would I watch Kentucky in the Belk Bowl or anybody else? Or why would I go to the Liberty Bowl and watch Navy play Kansas State if it's all about just getting into the top 8? Like, how is it y'all don't get what college sports are about? It's week 1. You are belittling every single game in the championship and all these kids who have – but that's fine. Don't worry about it. Just because it'll give the consumer, I guess, something – he only has to tune in to 3 games a year. They don't have to watch the regular season to figure out who's the best. They can just turn into the final 3 games a year, and they don't have to show up to the stadium. They don't have to root on anybody. Just who cares about college sports? Just we want to see who the champion is. And, again, you were saying something like it's going to make it more fair for the champion? Like, we'll know for sure.
I never said. I said for other teams around the country would be able to get involved.
Mel,
it would
I'm going to come back to you on the other side.
I think it would make it interesting.
And you were leading me off on the other side, Mel. Don't you dare touch that dial. Sports 56 96.1. And don't forget, MemphisFarmers.com and my man Chad Gatlin on Sports 56. Yeah, and I said 96.1, but we're on double FM and 87.7 FM.
Listen online anywhere, anytime at sports56whbq.com.
The ARS Rescue Rooter National Hoop Fest, presented by Conway Services Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, is coming. It's 3 days of great high school basketball to kick off the new year right here in Hoop City, January 2nd through the 4th. The action starts Thursday at Christian Brothers as CBHS hosts their fellow Christian Brothers from St. Louis. Friday the 3rd brings 4 games at Briarcrest Christian School and 2 more at Olive Branch High School. And then Saturday features great basketball throughout the day with 6 games at Briarcrest starting at 12:30 in the afternoon. It's your chance to see top teams from around the country do battle with the best of Memphis and see some of the nation's top recruits, including 19 top 50 recruits. It's the ARS Rescue Rooter National Hoop Fest, presented by Conway Services Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, January 2nd through the 4th. 3 days of great high school basketball. See the full schedule and get tickets at nationalhoopfest.com.
Is your wife asking you to stop eating junk food? Well, we have you covered at Humdinger's. It's quick and it's healthy, and most important, it tastes amazing. With many choices from salmon salad to rainbow trout and grilled asparagus. Come visit us for lunch at Humdinger's, 6300 Poplar Avenue. So good, Coach Penny eats with us weekly. Don't forget, Humdinger's offers full-service catering for weddings, social events, or your corporate lunches. You can call 901-260-8292 to find out more.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
Now back to Johnny Radio's Happy Hour.
Kick it over here.
This hour is brought to you by MemphisFarmers.com. Insurance coverage backed by a local agent and a brand trusted nationwide. We are farmers. MemphisFarmers.com.
Thick and thin, I'm your pusher man. I'm your pusher man.
You know what? I hope everybody is watching us live on Sports 56 WHBQ on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Periscope, and YouTube. Because you'd be laughing so hard if you watched some of us and what we did on the screen. Man, I don't even want to tell you what I was just doing.
Honestly, look, if you're listening on the radio, great. But if you can get to this live stream, As long as you're not on the road or anything, you
Yeah,
ought to
as long
watch
as
it.
you're not
It's
on the road,
hilarious.
yeah.
It's as good as it gets.
If you're at home, it is hilarious. Like, I'm an idiot, and amen, I got Gabe. But listen, it's a beautiful, beautiful day. It is actually the end of the year. We are talking about the best stories, the greatest things that are happening in 2019. I found my phone, by the way, which was actually kind of a
Real
loss
quick breaking news.
for an hour.
Breaking news out of the NFL. John Dorsey is now out as the Browns GM.
What?
They have parted ways. There was a report by
I
Adam
heard about
Schefter.
Haslam saying that
that he was
Why
done
would
with
you get rid of Dorsey? Because, dude,
Here's the one thing.
Freddie Kitchens was Baker's pick, man.
Well, the thing is, John Dorsey, the one decision he made is that Freddie Kitchens thing, letting that happen. And after that, look, he made every decision to make that team better, and that was the one fault he had. I think it's too short. I think he's a really good GM, and that's a bad decision by the Browns in the long run.
I think it's very simple. Freddie Kitchens went from a offensive coordinator to a head coach in, half a year? You think this guy was really ready for the job? Because Baker said he was? Baker was the NFL quarterback. He didn't like Hugh. He's like, hey, he wouldn't even give Hugh a high five. And then he likes a coach who wears stupid shirts that talk smack about the other team to tick them off. Like, realistically,
but in the
Dorsey
end of the day,
made a mistake in Freddie Kitchens, and he made one. He's a human being.
But how
and you
many?
know what? He listened to his number one pick, is what I'm trying to say, Gabe. And I feel like he became
absolutely.
Like, he was almost. Like, dude, he brought in Odell Beckham.
I was going to say, how much good did he do for that
That's
team?
what I'm saying. Look at all
how
that.
much good did he do for that team?
Kareem Hunt.
One bad decision. He gets rid of him, by the way.
How many games did they win before him?
He realized how bad of a decision it was and cut ties immediately.
Hey, how many games they win?
But this is one of those things with the Browns. This is why they're doomed. This is why they've been a doomed franchise for a long time, because they make very rash, stupid decisions at times that are going to cost them in the long run. And this one, I really think, is one of those.
That breaks my
heart. The amount of talent on that team, the amount of things that can happen here in the next 5 to 10 years for them.
Could you imagine Bill Belichick coaching that team? Remember, he used to be a Browns coach way back in the day before he was.
They could go get a good coach. They could go get a good coach this year. They could. They could go hire correctly. Freddie Kitchens was just not the guy.
Dude, there's so many coaches out there. By the way, since you're bringing up coaches, I want to ask you this question real quick before I become a big jerk and start telling you about how a bunch of stupid things about how all you people out there who are texting me all this.
I mean, we just spent the whole first hour of the show arguing.
I'm just getting text stuff, and they're like, college sport. Like, I just got a couple of texts about how college athletes should never be paid. They've never done anything. They're not a minor league system. Shut up, dude.
We even have an Eli Manning texter
Can
coming
I tell
out of
you
the
something?
woodwork.
Like, by the way, just so I can tell you something, pull this up. It's on ESPN, by the way, and I'm just going to tell you where it's on. It says, who's the highest paid in your state? This is hilarious. And it's football or basketball. In every single state, the football or basketball coach is the highest paid player in the entire state except for one. Wow.
Couple of bowl games in action right now.
But hold on.
Oh, wow.
I want to know something. Hold on. Before you do that, is my man, before you get to the score, because there's only one bowl game going on, right?
2.
There's 2 going on now. Before you get to that one, I want to ask something. Did you know about Lynn Bowden Jr.?
Yeah.
Belk Bowl, Kentucky.
Yep, jacked him in the face.
You saw that?
You sure did.
How do you feel? By the way, timeout, everybody. Before we get the score, I don't know what the score is. If you don't know who Lynn Bowden Jr. is, this is a young man who is a wide receiver.
Stud.
By the way, he was an All-American this year, wasn't he? I'm telling you, he was. I
think it was first team though.
If you pull it up,
one of the
like a
AP
specialty
I
athlete, whatever. Yeah, I think you're right. But I think you're right. But I know he won the Paul Hornung Award. He threw, by the way, who cares? But he ran for 1,235 yards. 6th best single season rushing record in Kentucky history. Again, he only started 5 games at quarterback. He won 5 games at playing quarterback. And again, the dude was he had 100 receptions. Like, he's the 7th 15th player in Kentucky history with 100 receptions. And I'm talking about for his career. And then he's asked to play quarterback.
And he don't throw the ball. He just threw an interception, by the way.
Yeah, he can't throw now. Let's just be real.
He cannot throw, but that's not – the fact that Mark Stoops has won games with that team, 7 games to be
Dude,
exact,
Mark
that's
Stoops,
crazy.
can we admit he's a baller coach?
He's a very good coach. But the scores of those games, do you want them?
Yeah, I'm right. Well, by the way, before we get to the scores, I want to ask you something. Mississippi State against Virginia Tech. Would you have predicted Kentucky or Virginia Tech?
I'm sorry?
I'm sorry. In the Music City Bowl, who would you have picked, damn it?
I picked Virginia Tech.
Okay. I thought for a minute you
Tech.
scared me, dude.
Because I'm a Fuente guy. I really think he's got that team playing better than people think. But the score right now, Virginia Tech has the ball. It's the fourth quarter, 9:48 to go. Virginia Tech's up 30-24. In the other bowl game, it's very early, real early. Arizona State and Florida State, 3-0 right now. Arizona State is up on the Seminoles.
Can I just say something? Florida State, I know Mike Norvell's there. It's going to take him a while. They're so bad that I feel like Arizona State pimp slaps them.
Hey,
today.
you know what bowl game that is? Florida State versus Arizona State?
I think it's the Tony the Tiger Bowl, yeah.
Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl, baby.
Tony the Tiger was a baller when I was a young
I
kid.
didn't even know. Why don't they just do
Tony
frosted?
Tiger?
No, I know. But wouldn't it just be Frosted Flakes? Like the Frosted Flakes?
No,
bowl?
Tony the Tiger's the baller,
No,
dude.
no. They're great.
They're great. By the way, SEC, how has Joe Moorhead still got his job after that embarrassing performance against Louisville yesterday? My goodness. Just curious. Outside of the way LSU has looked, how have you felt about the SEC at 67129? All you have to do is text me. Kentucky's playing Virginia Tech. It's 30-24. Vitek is up. A lot of football left to be played, but don't forget, Liberty Bowl is coming up at 2:45. That's right here in Memphis, Tennessee. Navy is a 1.5-point favorite over Kansas State. I have to say, I like the dog in Kansas State, and I will tell you tonight, I will give you my big play. And I will say, when Johnny's going to put his big play out, Johnny's going to drop a dime on that joint. Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back. Sports 56, 96.1, and of course, 87.7 FM.
Pop the top on your next party. 34 North Cocktails. Available in Memphis now. Great for Football Grove parties, around the hunting campfire, and when you get home, entertain friends. Pop a premium can of Barrel Thief. Tastes just like an old-fashioned Barrel Thief made with aged bourbon, bitters, a hint of orange, a touch of vanilla, 15% ABV. Then, for you vodka lovers, try Sneaky Pucker, a refreshing lemonade premium vodka cocktail, 12.5% ABV. Made with super premium vodka, lavender, simple syrup, and lemonade. Delicious and smooth. Let the party begin with 34 North Cocktails.
Is imitation the sincerest form of flattery? Not.
When it comes to your car audio.
Stereo One is the leader in car audio, remote start, security, and more for the past 30 years. Stereo One is proud to announce the grand opening of their new location, 1983 Covington Pike, across from the Honda dealership. To celebrate their new location, Stereo One has marked down their entire inventory. Remote start systems at $129.
With free installation.
Subwoofer base packages start at just $199. Window tint starting at $129. The entire inventory of radios and touchscreens with features like Apple CarPlay, Bluetooth, and backup cameras are marked to go. Check out Stereo One before you buy online. Their knowledge, friendly sales staff, and pro installation team will take care of you. Visit the Stereo One new location today, 1983 Covington Pike, across from Honda, or visit their mega store at Mendenhall and Winchester. Make sure you go to the originators and not the imitators.
Stereo One is still the one for your auto accessories.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
For over 25 years, Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7 has been bringing you great local sports talk. With 13 hours of local talk daily, we continue to be Memphis's local sports leader. The day starts with Keith Parker and Elliot Wender on the Press Box from 6 to 7, followed by the Peter Edmiston Experience with C.J. Hurt from 7 to 10. Sports 56 middays with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy takes you through lunch from 10 until 1. And then, John Harden brings you Johnny Radio's Happy Hour from 1 to 3. Dave Woloshin and Brett Norsworthy drive you home every afternoon with Sports Time with Wolo and Stats from 3 till 6. And John Rennie wraps up the day with Southern Sports Report from 6 to 7 before we turn things over to Fox Sports Radio to get you through the evening. We also bring you Ole Miss sports, NFL football, and the NCAA basketball tournament. Don't miss anything. Keep your radio locked in right here on Real Sports Talk. Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
You'll see the dedication in every single step. You'll see it in the smiles when smiles are hard to get. You'll see it in the little things that add up to success. The caring and passion are the things that we love best.
Wolf Chase Limb Brace is your Mid-South provider for orthotics and prosthetics. They are an ABC accredited facility, and their practitioners are ABC certified. At Wolf Chase Limb Brace, their services include artificial limbs, legs and arms, braces of all kinds, and custom molded inserts. You can call them today at 901-507-7821 for their location on Highway 64 in between Germantown Parkway and Appling Road, or visit them at their new location in Jackson, Tennessee. That number is 731-660-5900, or visit them on the web at wolfchaselimbandbrace.com.
To yours, Wolf Chase Limb and Brace.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. It's Johnny Radio's Happy Hour.
If you like pina coladas.
This hour is brought to you by your CBD store, your one-stop for all your natural, organic, and non-GMO CBD products, where good health hits home.
Check it out right here.
Ladies and gentlemen, and now,
A man that eats meat so rare, he only eats unicorns. Johnny Harden.
Yum, yum, eat 'em up! That unicorn meat is out of control delicious. You gotta love that rarity. I do too. Speaking of rare, we got something rare. The last day of the year. Only happens one day a year, and guess what? This isn't a very, very rare day. We are actually ending a decade. Can you believe this? We're going into 2020. And can I tell you something? I might have got one of the best texts the very last day of the year.
I figured we'd have like flying cars by now. What's going on, man?
Oh, yeah, dude. I talked about this yesterday. There was a book when I was a kid that I read. It was like Beyond 2020 or something. And we were supposed to be having flying cars. I should have been on Mars. And by the way, I watched Total Recall. My girlfriend doesn't have 3, and I am very upset. Ugh, so upset. But anyway, point is, sorry, sidebar. I'm back on air. I got to say a big shout out. A couple of my friends, by the way, who were very kind and invited me down to the Liberty Bowl. And if I was at the AutoZone Liberty Bowl right now, oh my goodness, I'd be having a good time. I appreciate all of y'all, and to Blake, to Charles. And by the way, Blake's daughter, I don't know if you know her, Gabe. Do you know Savannah? She cheers at Memphis still. They really got to do something that was really special by going down to, I mean, she's a Cowboy fan. She got to cheer for the Tigers down there at AT&T Stadium. I mean, that was out of control awesome. Do you know her?
I don't know by name.
Savannah?
I don't know by name. If I
Probably
saw her face, maybe.
But by the way, guess what they also did? They fed 25 fans and people, Kansas State fans. They fed them Central Barbecue.
Those are going to be some happy
Dude,
Kansas
those
State
people,
fans.
those
and their Busch
State
Light. As long as they have their
coming
Busch
back.
Light and the barbecue, they're good.
Those Kansas State fans are definitely going to come back, even if they're not playing next year at the AutoZone Liberty Bowl once you get a little Central Barbecue. But to Blake, to Charles, to everybody down at AutoZone who's listening, to everybody at the Tiger Lane, and to everybody who's going to go watch Navy and Kansas State, I love you all for listening. I appreciate your time. And by the way, me and Gabe, we don't hate each other either.
Yeah, all these text line people, I promise
my mom
you.
actually texts me, John, chill, baby.
Really?
Yeah.
That happened?
My mom really did text that. She put some hearts next to it. It was cute.
Okay.
Mom, I love you. And don't worry, Gabe. Gabe's a lot bigger than me. He'd kill me. So don't worry. I'm not going to get too aggressive. But right now we do have Virginia Tech, who is beating Kentucky 30-24. We got Arizona State's up 3-0 on Florida State, and we have my friend Mel who's on the phone. Mel, you can slap me upside the head because I'm an idiot, and I apologize for keeping you on hold for so long. But I appreciate you for waiting, and I would love to hear you talk about the college football playoff, and I'm gonna shut up.
Okay, Johnny. Guess what?
Yes, sir.
You're right.
Oh!
You don't need no 18 playoff. 14 good enough. You have 18 playoff, guess what? You be playing the same team over and over again.
I agree. I don't want to see
Right.
Didn't we watch Oklahoma and Baylor already?
Right, yeah. If you have 18 playoff right now, guess what?
Wisconsin.
Oregon be number 5. Georgia be 6. Wisconsin 7. Alabama 8. LSU 1. You want to see Alabama LSU again?
No.
You want to see Ohio State Wisconsin again?
No.
It'll happen if you have playoffs right now. 18 playoffs this year.
Mel, that's why I'm trying to say I love the regular season. That's why I love
you college football. You got the 5 conference winner: LSU, Ohio State, Clemson, Oklahoma, and Oregon be number 5 because they won the Pac-12. Georgia will be 6. Wisconsin 7. Alabama 8. LSU will play Alabama in the first round. We already seen that before.
Mel, you just made my end of the year.
Ohio State will play Wisconsin because they be the 7th seed. Ohio State the 2 seed. Well, they played twice already.
They sure have. They've played twice
already.
You
want to see that 3 times?
Now we're going to see it 3 times. You're right. You're exactly right.
You don't need no 18 playoff because you'll be playing the same team over again. That's all going to happen.
That is genius. And by the way, I do have to also say, and this is the argument that I brought up, and is a lot.
It doesn't
weaker.
consistently play out like that. I'll put it that way.
But
year to year, it's going to be different.
But can I ask you something?
Year to year,
just real quietly.
But at the same time, I'm not against a team playing twice. 3 times, I will admit, is incredibly overkill. It's incredibly overkill.
Alabama and wait, hold on. This is what I'm trying to explain to you. So Alabama and who did they play in the East this year?
LSU.
LSU, right? They did. Okay, so no. LSU's in the West. Alabama, LSU played who in the East? Florida. So or did they play Georgia too?
They played Georgia in the championship game.
No, they didn't. They played them in the championship game. What I'm saying though is, if they played them in the regular season, and you had LSU play Georgia and LSU beats them, and then they played them in the SEC championship and then they beat them, and then they had to see each other again in the college football playoff, I would literally throw up. That could happen, and that's what we're talking about.
That would happen this year. Wisconsin been number 7 seed.
I was getting ready to say the same thing. That would have happened in the Big Ten.
Already.
Baylor and Oklahoma, both would have made it. I mean, I don't know.
None of the quarterfinal matchups would be the same. Semifinal, you might have a recurring one. It would go LSU versus Baylor, Ohio State versus Oregon,
again,
Clemson versus Florida, and Oklahoma versus Georgia.
It's
what it would have
unnecessary because they already play each other.
Oregon got the 5th seed. They won their conference.
Yep, they did. They did win their conference. They would have got the 5th seed.
They have the 5th seed. They won their Pac-12.
So hey, I'm right there with you. They did it like the NFL, the 5 conference championships. We get the bang. Hey, Mel. Gabe tells me I got to hang up on you, and he's my producer, and he's a lot bigger. No, I'm just joking. I'm going to be in so much trouble. I was kidding. Hey, Mel, in all honesty, I hope you're listening. You made so much sense, and I love you, and I sure hope.
Yeah. He's the only one that made sense.
Everybody is listening. No, but for real, though, I do want to talk, and I hope everybody hits us up at 67129 because it is the end of the year is happening, and I did want to talk to y'all a little bit about some of the biggest stories that happened in 2019. I wanted to talk to y'all about some of the biggest stories that are about to happen, and I wanted to ask y'all some really, really, really weird questions going into the next decade. I want to know something, and I want to ask you something. And we say hail and farewell to all kinds of stuff. And like to Edward Ashoff and the Hefty Lefty, Lorenzen Wright, and all these people. We're going to miss you and thank you for all the stuff that you gave us. But I want to ask you right now, in reality, who's on the precipice of growing up and blowing up? And who's on the precipice of dissipating and disappearing? And what I'm trying to say is, which person is right now throwing up a mirage and about to disappear, and which one is about to come out and start balling, if you know what I'm saying? Like, is the next decade going to be Trevor Lawrence's? Is it going to be Joe Burrow's? Or is it going to be like maybe Lamar Jackson's? Or is it going to be Patrick Mahomes? Bryce Harper, by the way. Think about this in baseball. He left the Nationals, goes to the Phillies, takes tons of money. The Nationals had to get rid of finally Bryce Harper to go ahead and win the national championship. What I'm basically trying to say is the world is crazy and all things are nuts. But I want to know, at the end of 2019, going into the next decade, who is going to be the next GOAT? Who is going to be LeBron? Who is going to be Tom? Who is going to be the next Michael Jordan? Who is going to be the person that grabs our attention and carries us for a decade? And I'm wondering, is it going to be Lamar Jackson? Or is it going to be Patrick Mahomes? Or could it be Trevor Lawrence, who comes out of, next year and is the number one draft? The next thing you know, what if the dude wins 3 national championships at Clemson in a row and does something that nobody's ever done? Could you imagine that? I mean, he's got a chance. I still think LSU's going to pimp slap him. I think Joe Burrow is going to be a baller shot caller and throw all over Clemson's defense.
Because, hey, man, what'd you think? Okay, I'll say this. Ohio State versus Clemson. What'd you think about that? How that shook out, man?
I'm so mad.
I feel like Ohio State got robbed. I really do.
Let me tell you something.
I really do.
Pick six, it was a catch. That's 4 steps. Okay, if you want to argue, you can say it's a guaranteed 3. How is that not a damn football move? How long does a guy have to hold onto the ball? The ball wasn't caused by the ground. The fumble wasn't caused by the ground. Was there any question of that? No. Clemson, by the way, and Gabe Kuhn, I want you to hear this. Tell that person on hold to hold on a second because I want you to hear this. Most important thing, I want to say something. Ohio State won that game. I mean, would have won that game with the pick 6, I believe, if they upheld and the instant replay was correct. But can I ask you this question? Did Brent Venables and Dabo Swinney not win that game for Clemson by out-coaching Ohio State?
Look. You found a way. I think Ohio State had their chances, man, and it just didn't end up that way. But I really...
That was a BS call.
That hurt me, man.
And for it to be instant replay... Ooh. I just wanted to punch somebody in the face.
How? Like, how did you come to that conclusion? But it is what it is. And I think Clemson's a very deserving team.
3. No, yeah, Clemson is a deserving team. We're not 25-0. Listen to me. Let me say something. Trevor Lawrence has gone 25-0. He's done great. My man, Ohio State and Justin Fields, they done great. Chase Young, dang, they were good. But, hey, Clemson's back 25-0. But I will say something. You got Joe Burrow, who's thrown 55 touchdowns this year. They're going to be awesome. I think this is going to be a great national championship game. And I have to say this, and I'm being dead serious. We needed 4 teams this year. We didn't need 8 because you know what? I didn't know who was better. Can I just tell you something?
Stop.
I'm getting off
done.
of it. But can I just say the last thing I want to say is
I'm sick.
I didn't know who was better, Clemson or Ohio State. That
was honestly in recent history. That's probably the best semifinal.
It was the best game
matchup I've seen, and just the matchup on paper,
that was the
we
best
knew
championship game period. But other than like the Clemson when Alabama came back with 2 in the second half and beat Clemson, and the only good part of that was the second half because it was just so crazy in the overtime. You were like, did I just really see that? But for the best game from start to finish, I think Ohio State and Clemson. But this year took it.
Even on paper, before the game, me and you were sitting here this game is going. Everybody, not just me and you. This game was going to be one of the best college football games we had seen in the season.
By the way,
I think the refs got a little too involved, but it was still a great game.
Ready to say
great
something.
Game.
I love patting myself on the back, but did I not tell you that Brent Venables and Dabo Swinney would outcoach Ryan Day, and that's
I didn't hear that one.
You don't remember when I said the only reason?
Maybe you told us someone else.
I said Brent Venables 1,000. Oh wait, that's right. You were on vacation.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Oh, vacation.
Oh, I forgot about that, you loser. Vacation. I'm gonna start calling you Dale.
Dallas
again.
Was a great time, man. Dallas was a great time.
Hey, was the Cotton Bowl awesome?
It was incredible, man.
And by the way,
just what Dallas had set up, they have a lot of different areas you can go to. It was just entertainment nonstop.
The entertainment outside I heard was just flat out so dope.
Amazing.
My friend said that was
amazing.
Is more fun
Texas
than being
Live
in a game.
Outside of
that's
the stadium.
What they kept talking about.
And by the way, the new Ranger Stadium, that thing is going to be a beast. That is looking like one of the best MLB stadiums. Just what they have started on right now looks like it's about to be absolutely incredible.
Man, I can't wait, dude. Me and you are going to have to go down there and have a little show baby down there and watch some sports or
Let's
something.
do it.
Let's do that. That'd be fun, man. But, hey, I got to take a little break because my buddy Dave's on the phone and he wants to talk. Hey, Dave, thank you for calling me on the last day of the year. How's life treating you, Dave?
Life is good. It's always good.
Man, that's what I like to hear, Dave.
Yeah. I just wanted to make the observation that the same people that want to expand the college playoffs and want to reseed the NFL playoffs are also the same people that seem to be so disgusted by participation trophies. And I just don't understand it.
I love you, Dave.
All right, have a good New Year.
Happy New Year, Dave! I just want to tell you something, man. That's one of the, again, we got some genius callers out there, I got to say.
I've lost,
I know one
man.
thing. I got to say one thing. Our text line, and by
I
the way,
love our text
there's
line
one
today.
text line, like one person, by the way, that I know who is absolutely massacring me and loving you. That's my friend Alan. And if you keep on doing this, Alan, I'm going to see you tonight at the party, and I will spike your drink, okay? And you will be asleep.
And
before midnight.
whoever is telling whoever's telling John to buy me a drink, absolutely, man.
Oh, I'm
down
definitely.
For it. Go ahead.
Yeah, we'll do
buy
that.
Buy me a drink.
Yeah. Love. Hey, by the way, love all of y'all too, and thank y'all.
They really think we hate each other, huh?
No. There's a lot of them that are saying nice things. Well, no. Actually, damn, they really do think we hate each other. Me and Gabe, we are friends, y'all. We're not going to fight when the show is over. It would not be hey, I'm fast. He couldn't catch me. Okay?
Are you fast now?
I'm right. Not anymore.
You may have lost a step.
Can I just, no, I've lost so many steps. It's not even funny. Do you know how, I'm going to tell you a little secret, Gabe, because you're young, and this is the last thing I'm going to get into sports. Do you know the worst part? And I know there's a lot of men out there who are listening to me right now. They might be at the Liberty Bowl. They're getting ready to do all this stuff. They watch Lamar Jackson ball out like nobody's business. And this is what I want to know realistically. Who's going to be the next baller in the next decade? Who is going to control all of the next decade? Who's going to be the greatest athlete? Do we see them coming? Have they arrived yet? Or have they not arrived? Like, is there somebody who's about to dominate and take over everything? Do you think so? Or no?
I was about to say something that would...
Say it.
I was about to say James Wiseman.
Oh, I was going to say Ron Jeremy's dead, but James Wiseman. That is funny. James Wiseman would be really funny. No, he's not dead. What I mean is his career. His career is pretty dead.
Oh, I would think at this point. How old is he?
Like, he's got to be I'm just... Basically, what I was trying to say is everything that was once a strength always will eventually become... Let's say what's a very good word? A flaccid nothing. Does that work?
Very.
Nothing. Won't do anything. Just a useless piece of space.
This is what we talk about on Johnny Radio's Happy Hour.
But you know what, though? In all honesty, though, stuff that is not useless and stuff that's very important, and I want to talk to this about Gabe, and I know a lot of people are going to get mad when we get into this one. Gabe, I've already predicted and I've already ticked off a lot of people. I think the Tennessee Titans is the best bet of the weekend. I'm already going to tell you straight up, I've already bet on them against the Patriots. Anybody who doesn't think that that's a good bet, that's cool with me. You don't have to agree with me. Yesterday y'all went banana sandwiches on me. But again, I'm going to tell you a little secret. I win money. I showed it to you. And I'm going to tell you another secret. Tom Brady is old. He's a grandfather or something. Like, come on, man. Let's be real, dude. This dude ain't like a spring chicken. You realistically think, I want to ask you all this. Who's been the best quarterback in the last 7 weeks? Most touchdowns, highest completion percentage, and longest yards per attempt. Do you know who that person was in the last 7 weeks?
Ryan Tannehill?
Sure as hell was.
Wow.
Can you believe that?
Know who led the league in passing yards?
Actually, no, I don't.
Do you want me to tell you? Is this going to surprise you? Jameis Winston.
Well,
but anyways, let's get back to Ryan Tannehill.
Jameis Winston led the league in yards.
He did, but he also led the league in interceptions.
I was gonna say he's also like he's my Eli Manning.
but
this is Eli Manning.
I don't mind. I really do. I do not mind that pick because you're talking about two teams that have trended
3.5.
But you're talking about two teams that have trended in opposite directions as the season has wore on.
Let me tell
Like the Titans have gone straight up, and the Patriots have just sort of flattened out and gone a little down, I'd say.
Gone a little down. It's kind of like, would you rather have Derrick Henry or Sony Michel? Derrick Henry. Would you like A.J. Brown or Julian Edelman? A.J. Brown. And by the way, who said A.J. Brown was better than DK Metcalf?
Both.
Both have been great. No, both
but
been good.
But DK has been a
yes,
beast.
DK's been good. But I said A.J. Brown is the most complete receiver, and people said I was crazy. And I said he would have 1,000 yards receiving. I think he had 1,051 and 8 touchdowns.
Hey, by the way, guess who won me both of my fantasy leagues? A.J. Brown.
A.J.
Brown
went
crazy
it's
the
your
back half.
Birthday. And by the way, like I said, I'm being dead serious. This is not a joke. And I want to talk playoff football with my friend Gabe. Hit us up at 67129. And I brought this up yesterday. I got all my sheets right here. I brought the schedules. Bills are playing the Texans. The Texans are -3 over the Bills. You have what I call Cam Newton 2.0 in Josh Allen. You have a guy who is as big as Cam, who is as strong as Cam, who's actually, I think, a better runner than Cam. He's faster than Cam. He doesn't necessarily he may not be as physical as Cam Newton, but I'm not sure he's not as good of a passer as Cam was. You know what I mean? He's not, realistically, if you look at his numbers, he's not quite the passer.
No, and that's the weirdest thing about Josh Allen, because I don't know what his identity is yet.
Because
he runs the ball.
That's it. He can run and throw a deep ball.
But he can run, but it's like, can he run well enough to sustain that season to season? You know what I mean?
That's a good question.
Like, by season 5, is he going to be running the ball like he
out
is?
Too. That's what I'm saying. Like, look, Superman's already dead. He's out. Like, this is how bad things have gone for Cam Newton. Will Grier started, okay? Do you realize what I just said? They had, like, the dude who couldn't start at Texas A&M start the year, replaced him with Will Grier. Do you know who Kyle Allen was? Do you remember him?
Yeah, I remember Kyle Allen. He played, and guess what?
He played in the Liberty Bowl.
He played with Houston. He was at Houston and couldn't start at Houston.
Yeah. And he also, didn't he play at Liberty Bowl with Texas A&M against golly, I'm pretty dead to come ashore. I watched that game.
Yeah, but I forget who they were playing. I really can't remember right this second. But he couldn't even start at Houston.
But anyway, they beat the brakes off him. He had a great game, but he couldn't start at Houston. He wasn't great at Texas A&M. He goes to Carolina. What I'm saying is the running quarterback that is physical doesn't seem to make it. But guess what? This is where I think there's the difference is. And I've said this, and I don't think completely understand because you didn't watch it. But when I watch Lamar Jackson, he does something I have not seen since Warrick Dunn. He gets himself out of bounds faster than anyone I've ever seen and avoids more hits. Warrick Dunn, though, was only like 5'6" and was little. He couldn't take a bunch of pounding. Lamar's a little bit bigger, but man, Lamar may have taken 30 more hits, but they're not as painful as a lot of people would see because nobody hits the edge as fast as him, and he gets out of bounds so fast. And then the other thing is, you can't continue and continuously go through and hit the quarterback in today's game. How fast does he get rid of that ball with a flick of the wrist? That ball is out, and he is accurate.
But again, I think we can both somewhat agree on this is he's running the ball at a historic rate. So it's like so people that try to say that you shouldn't be questioning his longevity in the NFL, I don't think that's fair. I think Lamar Jackson is an MVP. He is the MVP. It's not even a question.
Absolutely.
I think he can do it down the road as well. But there's got to be questions about longevity because of how much he runs the ball. I don't care that he doesn't get hit.
I want to ask you a question, and tell me if you think I'm crazy. And by the way, I am not going to ever question the Ravens general manager. I think Mr. Ozzie Newsome has been the greatest that ever was. I hope Ozzie's still making the pick this year and taking care of business. But what I'm trying to say is Baltimore Ravens, Jalen Hurts is a projected 6th-round pick. I looked it up again this week. If he's projected a 6th-round pick, if you're Baltimore, just for safety, 3rd round, snatch him. Why? Because Lamar Jackson is one hit away from being out or being out a week or two. And there is nobody, in my opinion, that can fill the void of Lamar Jackson quite like Jalen Hurts. There is only one clipboard holder in this world that I think could come from the college level. Lincoln Riley helped him to pass. We've watched him squat 680 pounds on video. Dude is strong as an ox. You know he can run. He can do the triple option. He can read. He's run the same option, and he's become a better passer. Who would be better at holding their clipboard than Jalen Hurts for Lamar Jackson? I don't know anybody. Bill's on the phone, wants to talk Lamar. What's up, Bill?
What's up, man?
What's up, Mayor?
What's up? You know, I agree with you. This is the thing. They have coached Lamar Jackson to play this way instead of fighting him.
Yeah, they coached it to him.
Yeah, so they've designed the whole offense to where he's just not getting hit all the time because they run 3 tight ends, and they do run the ball between he and Mark Ingram, and he's able to look over the whole field before he snaps, analyze it from his perspective, not just tucking down and running in the linebackers. Instead, there's a design to this, and thus he doesn't take hits like RG3 used to take and like Michael Vick used to take it. Some of these other guys,
man, that's a great point.
Took more hits. They designed this offense for him for it to work, and that's why you're right. Jalen Hurts would be perfect right in behind him, and he would be learning this offense as well. He would be a freaking superstar because you have to have a little bit of a brain, you have to have an arm, and you have to have that quick release. You know, that they've got that. I love that baseball release. You talked about this. Josh Allen has it. They snap that wrist and that ball flies. That's the way to throw a football, not the way where you get your shoulder. When you get your elbow down underneath your shoulder, you're pushing the ball. You don't have the same velocity and the same accuracy as these guys at Josh Allen. I saw him when they played that game against Dallas on Thanksgiving. It was really the first game I really watched Buffalo. I mean, he was zipping passes about 85 miles an hour into a little bitty paper bag that guys were being covered, but they didn't even see the ball that was going by so fast. I mean, that's that baseball, snap that wrist. You know, you play baseball. You snap that wrist, that ball just zaps. I've seen little bitty guys throw 100-mile-per-hour pitches, and it's like it doesn't make any sense, but they get that wrist action. So, I mean, that's the thing. What's the guy used to coach with Colin Kaepernick in San Francisco?
Oh, wait.
Greg Roman.
Greg Roman. Hold on.
Right.
Wait.
He
understands
this offense. Right. He designs this for himself and knows how to run it. That's why it's working. You got a good player who's working it. You're not fighting the player. All that stupidness where they try to fight the guy, say, don't run it. It's like Lamar.
They're not trying to make him what he's not, and I think that's
right.
That's the thing that Greg Roman has done really well with those running quarterbacks. He does not. Again, I agree with you completely. He doesn't try to fight what they are. He continues to pursue the offense that fits them the best,
enlarge in their abilities. And he's got 3 athletic, talented tight ends that he can throw to at any time. Plus, they block. I mean, it's just guarding that defense. I mean, guarding that offense is crazy.
Hey, I can tell you one thing, Mayor. I can already tell right now you're like me. You think the AFC, it's all going through Baltimore, don't you?
Well, I mean, it's got to, because if you look at all the teams, other than Kansas City, they have a chance. But that ball, there's really no. I mean, I think the Titans are the underdog in my opinion. I think they are strong. I think they will beat New England. They will beat New England, and then I think they'll probably play Baltimore. And that'll be a war right there, I think.
I do too. Hey, Bill, do me a favor, man. Happy New Year. Have a great 2019. I hope you have the blessed 2020 decade, and I'll talk to you next year, brother.
Yeah, man.
That's my man. The mayor of Nutbush. That's my buddy.
Real quick
Bill.
before we get to break. Virginia Tech has just lost to Kentucky. Kentucky wins 37-30. Last second cover. UK was 2.5 point dogs actually. So when you look at this, Lynn Bowden finished with 34 attempts, rushing 233 yards and 2 TDs.
Now, my question is, before I go to break, because I'm late, how many people are going to be mad that Lynn Bowden, who threw a punch, didn't get thrown out of the game? Virginia Tech is going to be complaining like a bunch of madmen. Guess what? It was a weak punch, and hey, you should have knocked him out, and then he couldn't have played. Ha, 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 ha! Don't forget your CBD store at 3157 Poplar and 680 North Germantown Parkway. CBD. Say goodbye to pharmaceuticals. Say hello to CBD. This is Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7 FM.
Sports Time with Rollo and Stacks. Every weekday afternoon from 3 till 6. Right here on Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Hey, check out this report of our Office 365 email and the threats sitting in users' inboxes.
Wow, how did you get this?
There's a free tool called Barracuda Email Threat Scanner that can quickly and safely scan our Office 365 email for hidden threats like spear phishing and domain fraud.
Really?
Yeah, Barracuda Email Threat Scanner identifies hidden threats and employees most at risk for a cyber attack, all summarized in a complete report.
This is great.
Get your free email threat scan now at barracuda.com. Barracuda, your journey secured.
First Bank is here to help you, whether you're a business looking for a loan to expand or refinance an existing one, a homeowner looking for a mortgage or home equity line, a consumer wanting to finance your dream car, or wanting a competitive rate on your CD deposits. Let First Bank try to handle your banking needs. Stop into one of First Bank's 3 local branches today, 6482 Poplar Avenue, just east of International Paper, 8398 Highway 64 across from Wolf Chase, and 6280 Highway 64 in Oakland. Or check them out online at firstbankonline.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
That's the sound of NyQuil Severe hard at work. NyQuil Severe is the best sleep with a cold medicine. No tossing and turning, just rest and recovery. So you're ready to take on tomorrow. For powerful relief of your worst cold and flu symptoms, try NyQuil Severe. The nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, stuffy head, best sleep with a cold? Medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
Now back to Johnny Radio's Happy Hour.
Kick it over here.
This hour is brought to you by your CBD store, your one-stop for all your natural, organic, and non-GMO CBD products, where good health hits home. Here's Johnny Radio himself, John Harden.
Shackles, ball and chain. Listen to the whistle of the evening train. You know you about to wind up dead. You don't head back to Tennessee yet. Rich man step on my poor head.
Man, that rich man that stepped on my poor head, now he's back home, buttered my bread with ganja butter. It's delicious. Happy New Year, everybody. Eat a gummy for me. By the way, tell for 2020, all we want is one guy to stop doing gummies. And you know he coaches at Utah, Mr. Quinn Snyder. That dude's done more bumps and gummies before he coached. He reminds me of Adam Gase. If you didn't get that joke, too bad. Welcome to 2019 and Johnny Radio's Happy Hour. I am your sports mixologist. I'm about to do my favorite segment of the day, and we are going to talk, well, about sports and drugs. Because, by the way, drugs are bad. By the way, can I just tell you a little something? Ever since Eddie Murphy was on Saturday Night Live, I've been singing in my head Buckwheats. That's okay, like all the greatest hits from Buckwheat, like for a long time. It's been great. And I know it's buckwheat, but I like what I say anyway. Now, I'll be back in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail, but I got to let them play this song. So do me a favor, strike the band.
This is Access Hardinwood.
It is Access Hardinwood. And let me tell you a little something. It's also the last day of 2019, and you won't even believe this. Yeah, it's the truth.
What was Hardinwood worthy that you remember that happened in 2019? AB went crazy.
AB
right?
lost his bananas.
Okay. What else we got?
The rich got richer.
For some reason, I can't get the Antoine Woods getting pulled over with 2 gold-plated mason jars full of pot, and then he was saying because he was speeding too. There's a lot of things.
There's a lot of things, but hold on. I was gonna say the rich keep getting richer because the richest coastline had to remember 33-pound bundles of cocaine washed.
The rich get richer. Yep.
I mean, you buy hey, I want to buy this beachwood property in the French Caribbean. I'll pay you $22 million, and then $22 million of cocaine washed upon shore.
And then how can we forget about Robert Kraft? Robert Kraft.
Porn star style.
Going into the Orchid Day Spa.
Can I ask you a question? Porn star Jimmy, in all honesty, was probably a lot better fitted for the Patriots than Tom Brady. Because, porn star Jimmy.
Robert Kraft and him would have been
That's
best
what I'm saying. They could have gone to the Orchid Club together. You know how many, double dates that Robert Kraft and Jimmy could have gone on? They would have been best buds. That's the thing is, I think that's why they got rid of him, is because Bill Belichick knew, I wanted porn star Jimmy, but I'm afraid that he'd be too bad of an influence on the boss, Robert Kraft. You think that's what happened?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever you say.
Yeah. Now, can I ask you a question? Have you heard about Master P?
What Master P do?
Do you know who Master P is?
Yes, I know who Master P is.
How do you know who Master P is? Because you're young.
He's deeply involved in the roots of,
Uh-oh, I'm ready to hear this one.
Hip hop, R&B, all that rap, all that. I know about Master P.
So you know Master P. Did you hear about what he said? Do you know about how he says that he'll rap? He's like, we can rap about drugs and smacking, but it doesn't mean we do it. Did you see that one at all?
That was Master P.
That was Master P, wasn't it?
DJ Paul did the same. 3 6 Mafia.
3
DJ Paul
6 Mafia
did the same thing.
What's going on, dude?
Because you know how
Southern raps get
there's a guy
serious.
named Juice WRLD, right?
Yeah, Juice WRLD.
He just passed because did you hear how that happened? By the way,
No, I did not know about this.
he had a bunch of
out?
opioids. Get this, he had a bunch of opioids on a plane. The feds come out and they're about to seize him. They're like, okay, we have a tip. We're gonna go seize these drugs. He decides that he's going to eat the entire bottle.
Whoa, hold on.
Eats the entire bottle and then he dies.
Okay,
it's actually terrible. It's sad. It's very sad.
So he was a Chicago rapper, and he was scared to go to jail. So
Scared to go to jail, so he ate everything, and then died. Seized out.
That didn't work out very good for him.
No, it did not. But DJ Paul, people have been sort of getting on the rap and hip hop about how it makes drugs sound like a good thing, and he said, "Look, I'm gonna continue to talk about drugs in my music, but that doesn't mean I do them."
Okay, is this all coming back from the Lil Wayne getting pulled over by the feds with his plane and him having guns and heroin in there? Is this all I'm being dead serious because it was a week ago. In fact, I think it was a week ago today. Wasn't it the day before? No, it was Christmas Eve. It was the day before Christmas when Lil Wayne, December 23rd. It was the day before Christmas Eve. Because on December 23rd, Lil Wayne, remember, he landed in some islands. Next thing you know, federal agents went in there. They seized his car. They seized his plane. They all pulled up. And next thing you know, they found a bunch of guns. They found a bunch of heroin. They found a bunch of opioids. And he got in a lot of trouble, obviously. And I'm just wondering, do you think a lot of this is coming from that? Or did you even know that?
I didn't even know about that, but I know a lot of. I don't know, man. You're talking about the bust in general, why they were busting.
They also, by the way, just so you know, he had 20. Listen to this. This is what Lil Wayne. Don't they call him Wheezy?
Wheezy.
And he's
baby.
Isn't he really big into he's
codeine?
He's
sips a lot of
sports
syrup.
guy though. This is what I'm trying to say is rap. The reason I'm doing this in Hardwood is because rappers have become synonymous with our athletes. And do you see what I'm saying? Look at what's the dude Drake. He is a Toronto Raptors' biggest fan, and they have helped each other. I think rappers and NBA players have helped each other. They have created TMZ and what is it, that Hollywood Network BS? The whole tabloid Twitter, Kim Kardashian, Tristan Thompson's with so-and-so. That was basically all created by, just a bunch of, let's be real, publicists. But Lil Wayne has become, he's a, Lil Weezy, great rapper. But the fact that he did get his plane hit up by the feds, and he had guns and heroin, and then all of a sudden, you got DJ Paul, you got, was Project Pat involved in that?
I just saw DJ Paul. Juicy J, another part of 3 6 Mafia, tweeted out saying, saying if I ever encourage someone to do drugs, I apologize.
Yeah, I saw that one. And it, like I said, and then you have my man down in New Orleans, and I have to think this has to do with Lil Wayne, right? Like he's like straight up coming out.
And then Juice WRLD, that kid died.
And then
kid
Juice
dying,
WRLD's
basically.
dead.
Kid dying. A kid.
So is it the end of 2019? Are we seeing the end of basically like drugs being glorified? Maybe.
No, guarantee not. I mean, almost guarantee not. I mean,
really?
I mean, when?
I'm actually.
I mean, look at history.
Like,
look at history. Look at rock music. Look at
look
the 70s. Look at the 80s.
And we get rid of and realize what I'm trying to say is it feels like we're getting more tolerant towards which is normal.
We're trying to tell people, hey, stop.
But
stop glorifying opioids, heroines,
MDMA or whatever the hell these kids are doing. But what I'm saying is does it not make it? What I'm trying to say is I'm asking you is because as a father standpoint, I've always at least hoped that we're making it to where I don't have somebody who doesn't care about my daughter's or my children's or my grandson's best interest trying to sell them something that's illegal, or to where if they really are one weekend after studying and going to school because I'm going to beat them and make sure they study, want to go out and get high at a coffee shop and smoke a little weed and have a couple beers when they're like 22 years old, I don't give a damn. What I'm saying is I don't want them eating a bunch of pills and snorting a bunch of heroin and driving around thinking that it's cool to sleep with 57 different
I don't think
athletes.
I'll ask this though. It has the glorification of drugs. Like it's not new. Like this is something that's been happening.
Yeah, well,
for a
I
long
don't know
time.
That it's never been like this. I mean, the glorifications of let's be real, sex and drugs has never, I think, been at this height. Like I'm just being honest. Maybe I'm wrong. Because I was too stoned to remember. I'm just kidding. That was a joke. Y'all are supposed to laugh. That was a joke.
I mean, after 80s, 90s, since the 80s, I feel like there's been a huge uptick in just sort of glorifying and talking about this in music, right?
In music, see, I was around though.
And the music scene is the main part, like the main thing that is glorified. All
dude, I remember you don't remember the parental label. You don't even remember all that, do you?
Yeah, I do.
Oh,
I had to buy albums when I was young, man. I had CDs, never had cassette tapes. I'll tell you that. But I still bought CDs. I would have to go to Best Buy, go through, grab it, get out of there. I played it on my CD player. Like I was newfangled to you, but that's like old school to me.
You never had
no cassettes. Nope, never.
That's hilarious.
Never in my life. I had VHS.
I love you.
What's my oldest?
So you never had Beta either. By the way, I was so stupid. I invested in Beta. Beta got beat out big time by what was it? What is that other one? HD. What was the VCR? Oh God, it was so bad.
Really?
That was the biggest waste of money I'd ever spent in my life. I couldn't play a single thing from Blockbuster after a year.
I remember dial-up.
Oh, okay. We got way off track. I apologize. I wanted to get back on. And I was basically saying that all these athletes and everything that's going on, I wanted to bring this up real quick. Ready? I wanted to ask you, we're looking at Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes. We're seeing, Joe Burrow, who looks more like Tom Brady, who's coming out this year. Trevor Lawrence, who reminds me more of Peyton Manning and, I'm sorry. I can't believe I said Peyton. John bleeping Elway when he came out of Stanford. I mean, Trevor Lawrence is not lefty, but he is John Elway
also,
coming out of college.
With Joe Burrow, can we be fair also? He's got a little more athleticism than Tom Brady.
Okay, he does.
Passing the ball, yeah. I mean, he's smart.
6'4"
frame.
It's the frame, how he's wiry.
How smart he is
how
throwing the ball.
smart he is. And it's also the other thing is when you look at him, when the ball comes out of his hands, you have to admit, the same way with Tom Brady, he goes back and he goes to throw the ball and his wiry little whatever, you think no way, and then it's like zam, and it's perfect. That's the same thing at first when I saw Joe Burrow. Like I could understand why Dwayne Haskins and JT Barrett and everybody else beat out Joe Burrow, because when you just look at him, at first he's kind of wiry. But damn, does that ball come out in 2.7 seconds and always perfect, and he throws every single pass, which is catchable. He can put arc on it. He throws it over the linebackers, underneath the safeties. Joe has everything, but you know where he has it? In his fingers, bro. Like what he does with the end of with a football, the way he can make it turn and spin. I love Joe, and I think he's just mad talented, and he reminds me of Tom Brady. But Trevor Lawrence, let's just be real. This is John Elway reincarnated. Back in the day, like when he was coming out of Stanford, Trevor Lawrence is 25-0. He's playing in his second national championship game. The dude is built like a brick house. You know what I'm saying? And by the way, is he not 6'6" or 6'5"? Like, I mean,
6'6".
Yeah, he's 6'6", 235 pounds, I believe. Yeah, he's a beast of a man. And did you see that touchdown that he ran for last week against and it wasn't Oklahoma? It was against
He's 6'6", 220.
Ohio State. It was against a defense that was not out of the Big 12 is basically what I'm saying.
And by the way, you know he can't have a beer. I mean, he's a true sophomore.
Yeah, he's 20 years old. And Joe's 5?
23.
Oh, 23. Yeah. I was exaggerating a little bit.
Hey, but
basically,
I hate age bias. I don't like
hate age bias. I'm bad about that.
Like if he's 23, it's like, damn, he's still a young dude.
He's still a young buck. But you know what I'm also a pain about? I don't think you should ever go to the NFL and start your rookie year. I have seen guys who have come out and done that. No.
What changed? What changed in the 2000s where we don't? Well, not the 2000s.
Oh, wait,
the
are you mad at me? Or
no. At the NFL.
Oh.
What changed in the 2010s where we don't give quarterbacks
money
3 years? Because think about Aaron Rodgers, man. This is one of the best quarterbacks of all time.
Sat behind Brett Favre.
3 full years.
Yes. No.
They weren't even thinking about playing him.
Dude, everybody used to set Gabe because it was such a faster game, and we used to teach them. But you know why it changed? Money. And we gave them so much money as where we used to. They gave them so much money. You're the first-round pick. You're the face of the franchise. We're throwing you in now. We're forcing you in. And we killed so many quarterbacks from Mr. Carr's brother to Loser Carr, from Loser Carr. We have killed, they have killed so many quarterbacks coming up. Like,
Josh Rosen. Josh Rosen's dead already, right?
Yes, Achilles Smith, Josh Rosen, Joey Harrington. I have seen some guys that were seriously ballers that were put in such a bad situation, they had no chance in hell of being anybody. But you know what? Don't worry. 2019's ending. 2020 is about to happen. Happy New Year to all. And remember, who loves you like me? What's that dude's name? Nobody. I think that might be my favorite story of 2019, and it just hit me. Do you know what I'm talking about? The coach with no arms and legs? Who's got it better than us? Nobody.
I forgot his name. Man.
I can't remember it, man. Hit me up at 67129 because that's my guy from 2019. Don't y'all touch that dial. We'll be right back. Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7 FM.
Search Sports 56 on Facebook and give us a like. And follow us on Twitter at Sports 56 WHBQ.
You'll see the dedication in every single step. You'll see it in the smiles when smiles are hard to get. You'll see it in the little things that add up to success. The caring and passion are the things that we love best.
Wolf Chase Lemon Brace is your Mid-South provider for orthotics and prosthetics. They are an ABC accredited facility and their practitioners are ABC certified. At Wolf Chase Lemon Brace, their services include artificial limbs, legs and arms, braces of all kinds, and custom molded inserts. You can call them today at 901-507-7821 for their location on Highway 64 in between Germantown Parkway and Appling Road, or visit them at their new location in Jackson, Tennessee. That number is 731-660-5900, or visit them on the web at wolfchaselemonbrace.com.
Dedicated our life to yours. Wolf Chase Limb and Brace.
I want to invite you to come by the Spirit Shop. You know, that little log cabin on Poplar, your liquor and wine oasis. The Spirit Shop has been providing sports fans their beverage needs since way back in 1969. So come in now and get ready for the big game. Whether your favorite team wins or loses, the Spirit Shop will help you celebrate or ease that pain away. The Spirit Shop is open every day, and they're located perfectly at 4848 Poplar. That's the corner of Poplar and St. Nick.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
Now, back to Johnny Radio's Happy Hour. Let's go! This hour is brought to you by your CBD store, your one-stop for all your natural, organic, and non-GMO CBD products, where good health hits home. Here's Johnny Radio himself, John Hardin.
Many a hand has scaled the grand old face of the plateau. Some belong to strangers and some to folks you know. Holy ghosts and talk show hosts are planted in the sand to beautify the foothills, shake the many hands. There's nothing on the top but a bucket and a mop and an illustrated book about birds. See a lot up there, but don't be scared. Who needs Jackson when you got words?
Welcome back into a little Johnny Radio's Happy Hour. And you know what? It's the last segment I'm going to do this year. And I'm going to tell you something. I'm dead serious. Everybody out there, all my sponsors, Bill at I Buy a House is 901-406-1101. You know I love you, brother. My people at the CBD store, you know I love y'all. And I'm all about CBD. And I'm dead serious because I think it can change your life. 3157 Poplar. And don't forget 680 North Germantown Parkway. And, of course, always remember, MemphisFarmers.com, Chad Gatlin, Real Deal Holyfield. My buddy Chad, my buddy Bill, CBD Store, Central Barbecue, Frontier Western Store, my great friend Gabe Kuhn, all of y'all, I'm dead serious. There is not a single show without all of them. But most importantly, there's not a show without the listeners.
First year producing this year.
Yeah, dog, and
Good
it's come to
time.
an end, isn't it?
Good. Well,
Hey,
no,
that was
it
a really
ain't coming
quick
to an
year.
end. We're going to hopefully
No,
we can
what
get
I'm
this
saying-
thing going, man.
Dude,
We
was
keep
that-
it going.
Was this a quick year for you?
Yeah,
or
it was
what?
very.
Having fast
At the
didn't it?
beginning, I was
like,
getting cut by the
boom.
Express. The Express fell off, and
Man,
now you know.
how crazy is that to think the Express had left? The Express are gone. And think about that. I didn't even think about that. That's another great story this year.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Totally forgot about it.
That, like, we have completely forgot about it. And this is another one I want to ask you something. We forget about the women's national team? Kind of forgot about them, too. Forgot, you know what else we forgot about this year, I think, already? We forgot about the Nationals. Baseball has become a backseat, and I hate that because it just happened in October, damn it. But how far have the Nationals fallen from consciousness? Like, basically, I asked somebody just yesterday, well, and it's kind of sad because, Gabe, do you know what I did? It was a friend of mine. I said, hey, I was kind of getting ready for the show, wasn't really planning on doing it, just getting ready. And I was like asking questions. Daryl Morey, you know, Hong Kong, we remember that. Kevin Durant, his Achilles, we remember that. Kawhi Leonard bringing a championship to Toronto. Bam! LeBron James missing the playoffs for the first time in 8 years. We remember that. Tiger Woods, get your masters on, son. How you like me? I'm Tiger. I'm wearing red. I'm back. All this stuff happens in 2019. Michael Thomas goes banana sandwiches. We got pass interference calls in New Orleans. But you know what? We had the best Tiger team in history. We got maybe one of the best Tiger team in basketball coming up. This decade is ending. But it is crazy that at the end of this decade, my favorite sport is baseball. And I wonder, will I get to talk about baseball at all in the next decade?
Absolutely, you will.
You think so?
Yeah.
Man.
You will, but I mean, it
Not
does
very
take
much.
a back seat, man. And a lot of people listening might not know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you might
Like,
be right.
who's that? What's that? Aren't they going? Aren't they?
What's
they're
more
thinking about doing
popular next decade? Tiger Woods is, and let's just be real. The light is flickering. He got the Masters this year. They won the Ryder Cup with him captain. Will golf dissipate in the next decade? And is there any chance that baseball takes on the stadium drop, or is there any chance that they level out or even actually improve?
It's just so weird because the longevity of those sports just seems easy because they're like you're always going to have a certain demand for them because it's not like football where football has had to make changes.
Yes, because of
consistently, and
health.
the product hurts because
but they're
of the
still
health.
making money like
But
it's going
but
out
people
of
watch
crazy.
it and watch it and watch it and watch it like it's just going out of style. But I don't know. I think it'll be fine, but we'll have to see, man. They're going to have to
One
do
other
something.
question, because I'm going to ask you the
Sell
last
it.
one. Who's going to be LeBron James in the next decade? Who's the bigger figure, Kawhi or LeBron?
Oh, in the next decade? Oh, my gosh. That's a tough one. John Harden.
Damn straight is right. Sexiest man in Millington. All the girls, the women's national teams are going to be at my party, I'm sure, tonight, right? Except for what's her name who just got married. No, but for real. It's been a great year. Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes. We got all kinds of stuff going on. The Liberty Bowl is getting ready to start off. But to all you people out there, and I'm being dead serious when I say this, I hope you have a very blessed and happy New Year. And I do hope that tomorrow you wake up very, very early. You get ready on January 1st, and you say to yourself, I like to get rich.
You got a New Year's resolution?
Yes, Alabama, first half minus 3.5. It's my favorite bet on the board for New Year's Day. Minus 3.5 against Michigan. You know they're going to come out strong, and they'll relax in the second half. They'll let Mr. Khaki get back in it. Oh, yeah, my other New Year's resolution, you know what it is? Gabe, can I ask you, what's your New Year's resolution?
I don't know. I don't believe in New Year's resolutions. If you're going to do it tomorrow. Do it right now. If you're going to change something, change it now.
I like all that. Those are really good. I got one resolution for everybody. Just be good out there. Make sure the world's a better place. Make sure you bet on Alabama minus 3.5 in the first half. And do me a favor. Love me and Gabe, and always tune into Sports 56, 96.1, and of course, 87.7 FM. But don't you dare push that button, because I want you to make sure you always get out there and make sure the world is a better place. I'll see y'all on the next decade. Peace. Love you.
For over 25 years, Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7 has been bringing you great local sports talk. With 13 hours of local talk daily, we continue to be Memphis's local sports leader. The day starts with Keith Parker and Elliot Wender on the Press Box from 6 to 7, followed by the Peter Edmiston Experience with C.J. Hurt from 7 to 10. Sports 56 middays with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy takes you through lunch from 10 until 1. And then, John Harden brings you Johnny Radio's Happy Hour from 1 to 3. Dave Woloshin and Brett Norsworthy drive you home every afternoon with Sports Time with Wolo and Stats from 3 till 6. And John Rennie wraps up the day with Southern Sports Report from 6 to 7 before we turn things over to Fox Sports Radio to get you through the evening. We also bring you Ole Miss Sports, NFL football, and the NCAA basketball tournament. Don't miss anything. Keep your radio locked in right here on Real Sports Talk. Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
You'll see the dedication in every single step. You'll see it in the smiles when the smiles are hard to get. You'll see it in the little things that add up to success. The caring and passion are the things that we love best.
Wolf Chase Limb Brace is your Mid-South provider for orthotics and prosthetics. They are an ABC accredited facility, and their practitioners are ABC certified. At Wolf Chase Limb Brace, their services include artificial limbs, legs and arms, braces of all kinds, and custom molded inserts. You can call them today at 901-507-7821 for their location on Highway 64 in between Germantown Parkway and Appling Road, or visit them at their new location in Jackson, Tennessee. That number is 731-660-5900, or visit them on the web at wolfchaselimbembrace.com.
Dedicated our life to yours. Wolf Chase Limb and Brace.
Campbell Clinic now offers daytime walk-in care, and you don't need an appointment. If you've got any kind of urgent break, sprain, strain, you can walk into any of their 5 convenient locations Monday through Friday from 8 until 4. There's no long wait you have to put up with the ER, and those doctors are really good, but they're not orthopedists. They're not world-renowned orthopedists who have come up with different procedures